The offense finally gets going. Mariners beat the Oakland Athletics 8-4. Mariners post-game show here on the NW Sportscast. Levi, what did you see in this one?
I saw some good at bats. I saw some guys hitting for power. Julio, Sebi Zavala, not guys who have hit for a lot of power this year, and great to see that. Luis Castillo was on point yet again. 6 quality starts in a row for him. So yeah, I really liked what I saw out of today, and ultimately this series, good series win over a bad A's team.
Yeah, very good series win. Um, outside of yesterday's really terrible offensive performance, I made a video on that. Go check it out. This was a really good offense in both games 1 and 3. Not really a close game in this 3-game set. Today, it all started at the top of the lineup, where in game one, it was the bottom of the lineup, and it was Mitch Garver and it was Julio Rodriguez. And those are really the two guys that going into the season were going to be your two best hitters. A lot of people would say, including myself. Mitch Garver, hit about 300 in Texas for a few years there. And then Julio Rodriguez is Julio. And then they've been really disappointing in 2024. But today, they really, make it count. And Julio, he has a homer. So does Mitch Garver. They combined for 5 RBIs. Julio went 2 for 3, and Mitch went 2 for 3. What did you see from those two guys in this one, Levi? Because this is really encouraging if they can kind of keep this up.
Yeah, I mean, Julio, well, what was impressive is he homered on a 1-2 count, which is normally Julio goes down 1-2. He's pretty much guaranteed about to either strike out or fly out. So to see him hit a home run on a 1-2 count, that's definitely promising. I mean, he's been hitting the ball hard all season, so he's gotta do it eventually. And that home run as well, it was not a pimp shot by any means. He went 409 feet, 109 miles an hour off the bat, straightaway center field. So that was really impressive to see that. And then for Garver as well, just having consistently solid at bats. He's been doing that lately. I really do think that Mitch Garver, his worst weeks are behind him as a Mariner. Is he ever going to be a really, really good DH for us? I don't know, but I do think that he is coming out of his slump a little bit. And then Sebi getting a hold of one and taking it the other way down the left field line. That was good to see as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things to see it. And, it does go back to Julio and Mitch for me. Yeah, just yesterday, Julio hit the ball hard a couple of times and it turned into outs. And
Yeah.
I went on yesterday's post game show and pretty much said, I love him. I love seeing him hit the ball hard, but at some point, I need to see production. I need to see the hard hit balls turn into base hits. And
Mhm.
today, you see that. Julio finally starting to put the ball in the air. He could have had 2 home runs very easily. He missed one by just about 6 inches. Hits the yellow at the top of the wall, near the party deck in left center field. So Julio Rodriguez, this might finally be the turning point for him. But I have said that a few different times in the season, and I've been wrong.
Yeah.
So I need to see it next week with the Royals, and then in the once we leave T-Mobile Park and go on the road. Dylan Moore goes 1 for 3. He hits first, and maybe deservedly so. Did that surprise you, Levi? Because this lineup 1 through 9 is pretty bad. This might have been the worst 1 through 9 we've sent out there, and we still scrape across 8. Dylan Moore hitting in the one hole.
Yeah, I think Dylan Moore, he's not really traditional one hitter, but this is the second time he's done it now this season, and I'm a-okay with it. I mean, look, is he gonna hit 350 like Josh Rojas? No, but Demo contributes. He does his job really well. There's a chance JP comes back in this upcoming week. Even he, according to JP Crawford, he says he wants to rejoin the team this homestand. If and when he does, I'm not so sure if Dylan Moore is going to lose a lot of playing time. I think they're going to find spots for him to play. Now, he's not going to hit leadoff. That'll be Josh Rojas, JP Crawford. But Dylan Moore, he deserves to hit higher in the lineup. and he deserves to have playing time. I mean, I'm watching him make really good plays at shortstop. I'm watching him have really good at bats. He had a single run scored today. Then he goes for a sac fly a couple innings later. What's not to love about Dylan Moore, Drew?
What's not to love is what I've seen over Dylan Moore the last 3 or 4 years. He gets hot for a little bit, and
Yeah.
then it gets cold. He hits the ball hard. He's good for maybe a couple home runs. Every couple of weeks here and there. It really depends. He's an inconsistent ball player as far as hitting goes, and don't let the last few days fool you into thinking Dylan Moore is better than J.P. Crawford. He's not. He's simply not. I remember the year we barely missed the playoffs. What was that? 2021. And I think I was with you and I saw Dylan Moore on the field. And I said, if this guy's still on the team next year, we got some problems. Fast forward to 2024 and Demo still on the team. And, I might have been a little bit too harsh there, but he has been kind of inconsistent over the last few years. But what his role is, he's very good at. He's really good at that guy that can play a lot of different positions, play 3 or 4 days a week, and give you some pretty, some pretty good at bats here and there. What he's not is an everyday starting and shortstop. And if we put him in that position, which I don't think Scott Service will.
Oh, I'm not saying he's an everyday starting shortstop, Drew.
Agreed. But I'm saying what I don't love about Dylan Moore is just that he can't be an everyday shortstop. He is just a utility player, and maybe that's
well, since JP's injury, Dylan has started 14, I believe, 14 out of 16 games at shortstop. What's his OPS plus, Drew? 146.
Wow. Yeah,
Maybe he is an everyday starting shortstop.
But that's what I prefaced this statement with. I don't let the last few games fool you into thinking Dylan Moore's a starting shortstop. He's not.
Last few weeks, you're saying. Don't let the last few weeks fool you.
Sure, he could do this for 2 months, and I still say that. Dylan Moore, to me, is nothing more than a good rotational platoon guy that can play a lot of different positions 3 or 4 days a week.
All right. Well, I think you may have a little bit of a lower view on him than I do. Let's talk really quick about the.
I don't think so. I don't. What is your view on Dylan Moore?
My view on Dylan Moore is that he's one of the best utility players in the league, and that he can fill in at almost any position as a starter for a 2-week stretch and be competent.
I would agree, but do you want Dylan Moore playing 6 days a week?
Right now, yes. I would play him once at second base, once at first base, and a couple of games in the outfield every week, and have that amount to 5 or 6 games a week. He's shown he can do it over the past 2 weeks. Now, when he cools off, though, you're right. He probably will cool off.
Right now, I'd want him to go 6 straight. But if the option was playing him 6 days a week from now until July, and you have to commit to that, would you say yes?
I'd rather him playing 6 days a week than Haniger.
Yeah.
I'd rather him than France as well. I mean, I don't know. I'd rather him than Polanco right now at second base.
Right now. But you're saying right now.
Well, right now is right now. Live in the moment,
I understand that. Right now, I would love him to play 6 days a week because he's producing, but I don't think that he's a guy that, up until the All-Star break, he should be playing 6 days a week. I think he's going to slow down. I think it's coming sooner than you think, which is good.
And when he does slow down, then you don't play him as much. I mean, that's kind of how you just have to ride the hot hand until it's not hot.
Agreed. And we've been doing that with other guys too. I mean, Rojas is not going to be a 350 hitter at the end of the year, which is surprising.
We don't know that, but
I do know that. I can promise you that.
Likely. They put out the Baseball Savant now has a bat speed page. Josh Rojas, 2nd percentile in bat speed, which makes you wonder either A, does bat speed just not matter? Or B, is this kind of a mirage from Rojas? I don't know. But let's talk, Drew. I want to talk about the bullpen. Another Cody Bolton giving up some runs. How much longer do you think he has on this team? The bullpen struggled yesterday. That was Bizzardo and Spire. Today, Bolton gives up a few. What's going on with the bullpen here? Because we were the best bullpen in baseball until about a week ago.
Yeah, again, not super concerned about the bullpen. Cody Bolton, he only gave up 1 hit. Unfortunately, it was a baseball that got absolutely destroyed, a 2-run shot by Brent Rooker. It happens. Giving up a hard hit home run, it's gonna happen once every while, and it has been happening a lot more over the last week or so. And this bullpen, while I'm not concerned, I would like them to get off at a little better footing going into this next week. The bullpen will be fine. I don't think we're an elite bullpen. I think we're a really good bullpen. I think maybe with a Brash we would be elite, but we don't have him right now. I'm not concerned, but it is definitely a little disheartening to see guys that I think were overperforming kind of come back down to earth.
Yeah, I agree with that. You got anything else for today, Drew?
Sebi had a homer.
Yeah, Sebi with home run. I would say player of the game, probably Julio. Double home run, scored a couple runs.
Yeah, I mean you could go Mitch.
You could go Mitch. You could also go Castillo. It's always a good day when there's multiple options for player of the game.
True. It was a great day. What I think before we close this out, well, I would like to talk really quickly about Castillo. He gave
Yeah.
up 7 hits, but limited the damage to just 2 earned runs. A lot of base runners are on the base path, but what he didn't do was he didn't walk anyone. So that, even though he gave up the 7 hits, none of them were super damaging. And he got out of a lot of jams and he didn't walk anyone. That's good to see from Luis Castillo, but still, teams are kind of still teeing him up. The 7 hits, does that concern you at all?
It does a little bit, but I thought Castillo looked good today. He works out his jams. He did get some help from defense. I know Sebi threw out a guy. Mitch actually made a good catch in right field, which is kind of rare. Dylan Moore made another good play. So yeah, but no, I don't think that Luis Castillo looked terrible today. And yeah, his control is good. He was not throwing a lot of balls, didn't walk anybody. So I liked what I saw from him. And, coming out there with 2 on, 2 outs, top of the 6th, got that huge strikeout to Langoliers. That was, I think it was 6-2 at that point. So, the A's had a chance to make it a 1-run game. They had their best power hitter at the plate.
Yeah.
And Castillo, high rising fastball to strike him out on pitch number 100. I like that a lot. So I'm feeling pretty good about Luis coming after this. 6 quality starts in a row. Drew, I said this morning, I gave my Mariners pitcher power rankings on Twitter. I had him at number 1. Caught a little bit of flack for that. Some people disagreeing, saying maybe Logan Gilbert should be number 1. But I really do like what Castillo's given us this season. He does lead the team in WAR for pitchers. He leads all our pitchers in WAR. Also has the best FIP, the best xFIP, best strikeout percentage. Not the best ERA. Bryce Miller, Logan Gilbert have him there still, but I still think Luis Castillo is our ace right now.
Yeah, I would hesitantly agree with that. You could make arguments, honestly, for Kirby, Gilbert, or Castillo.
Exactly. You can argue for all 3, and you wouldn't
And
necessarily be wrong.
yeah, and Luis, although he has given up a lot of hard contact, he is doing better as of late, where the other two are kind of declining as of right now. I mean, just the last couple of starts, that being said,
Yeah.
but still. So yeah, I would say Castillo is probably first if I had to make a power rankings list, followed by Kirby 2, Gilbert 3, Miller 4, and Brian Wu 5, which is my preseason power rankings, and that's kind of stayed true at this point in the year. Before we go, I just want to quickly mention kind of the 2 guys on the hot seat for the Mariners in the 1 through 9, Mitch Haniger and Ty France. A lot of people are kind of saying we need to switch up the right field and switch up the first base. And unfortunately for them, 0 for 4 and 0 for 4 for Haniger and France. The only 2 players at the Mariners starting lineup to not record a hit. Do you think the pressure is getting to them? They're definitely hearing the noise. They're hearing everybody kind of say, look, we first base, not enough production. Haniger is too old and slow in right field. Do you think they're hearing that and they're kind of trying to overcompensate at the plate? What's happening? Because they've been extra poor as of late.
And they absolutely are hearing it. It's hard to not hear that. I mean, unless they're just completely off their phones. I guarantee you that they are hearing people say that. Look, for Haniger, the pressure not as much because I mean he's under contract for next year and nobody's gonna trade for him. So, the Mariners, their only options with Haniger is you either eat the money or you keep him on the team, which is kind of a tough, line to walk if he is right now. He, I believe, has the lowest WAR on the Mariners. I think he is negative 0.8, something like that. So he has been your least viable player just in terms of production value. And then for Ty, I mean, it's interesting the discourse around Ty. I saw something on Twitter today saying Ty right now is 17th in OPS plus for first baseman, which is like, okay, he's an average middle of the road first baseman. You think to yourself, is he worth all of the flack, all of the
Criticism.
criticism from fans if you're just, I mean, he's a slightly below average at his position. However, I think the lack of power combined with the fact that he has no versatility, not good at defense, not good at base running, that's where it all starts to add up. And with Ty France also, he's the easiest guy to replace because you have a first baseman who's hitting really well in AA, who a lot of people want to call up. You also have a first baseman down in Tacoma. Michael Chavez has been hitting really well in Tacoma. So,
And you have Rayleigh,
and you have Rayleigh on your own team who can
who's
do it,
heating up.
who's heating up. Exactly. So,
And you have trade options with Pete
feel
Alonso and
more replaceable. And you don't have to keep him on the roster next year, which Haniger, you probably do have to.
yeah, Ty France is really the one that needs to get going. And he had a hit in Friday's game, the one we went to, Levi. But then these last two, he's been over. He's going to need to turn it around tomorrow against the Royals. Kansas City coming to town for a 3-game set tomorrow. We got Kirby on the bump, if that's correct, right, Levi?
Yeah, it should be George Kirby because Hancock is gone. So yeah, Kirby against, I believe it is it Seth Lugo or is it
I'm not sure.
I know we faced Lugo and Waka and somebody else. I think it may be Brady Singer.
I'm trying to find it right now, but to each their own. George Kirby will probably have an advantage over whoever the starting pitcher is. That's how good George Kirby is. And the Mariners looking to take another set against the hot team in the Royals. 2-3 would be, I think, my best case scenario in this one. Don't see the Mariners sweeping. If I had to put a prediction on it, probably the M's go 1-3. The Royals just a really good team. We're catching them at the wrong time right now. And the Mariners been really inconsistent as far as hitting the ball. They're seeming to come in bunches. It's feast or famine for the offense right now. They score, what was it, 9 runs Friday, just 1 run yesterday, and then the 8 today. Tomorrow, let's hope it doesn't go back to the 1 run and we kind of continue this hitting streak or this hot hitting of Sunday's game into tomorrow. Anything else for us, Levi?
That's it for me, Drew. Mariners first place by half a game. First place in the AOS. Good to see. Happy Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to any mothers who are watching.
Happy Mother's Day and go Mariners, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow for another post-game show. Bye.